Dr. Helen is my sister. She is my senior colleague. She is also a medical. A round of applause for being in the house.
Hello, guys.
Yeah.
Nice to be with you. Good
So
morning.
wherever your location is, you have been greeted appropriately. So today, I actually invited Dr. Helen to help me with it discussing today. She is a specialist in that field. So even though I'm a doctor, I respect people who specialize in certain areas. So I always seek their opinion and not cock and bull stories from here and there. Okay, so because I want you people to get enlightened about going around in the social media. Some people, bringing up some assumptions that without sex in pregnancy, their baby will not be healthy. Their baby will not true. That is actually not true. So because of that, I thought of bringing up this video, and I invited my senior colleague, Dr. Height, on this topic today so that we would be well enlightened on this aspect of medicine. Thank you very much.
It's such a great pleasure.
Feel free to drop it in the comment section. We will also answer your questions. This is going to be a very quick one. She is very busy. She's a very busy person. She is a doctor here, and you know how it goes. We are always very busy with one thing or the other. So it's going to be a very, very quick one. So we are going to be diving into the discussion right now. Dr. Helen, please, can you tell us the medical facts about sex in pregnancy as a specialist in the field of obstetric and gynecology?
Wow, thank you once again for inviting me, and thank you everybody that is listening to this show. Sex in pregnancy, we are going to be looking at it in different perspectives,
Okay.
dividing it into getting pregnant, the first trimester, the second trimester, and the third trimester. What I mean by trimester is that we have divided pregnancy into three stages. The first 13 weeks, the second 13 weeks,
Yeah.
then the other 13 weeks,
The last
the
one.
last 13 weeks.
Yeah.
So all of them make up to the trimesters in pregnancy, and they will now be 39, which is when we now say the pregnancy is term, though term starts from 37 weeks.
Yes.
So to start with, I want to say that for a woman to conceive naturally, talking about natural pregnancy, she needs to have sex, man and woman. So after the sex has to be properly timed because it has to be at the right time, especially when the woman is ovulation.
Ovulation.
And
Okay.
the man also must be able to have enough spermatozoa to bring about the fertilization and then the pregnancy.
Okay. Healthy sperms, you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, healthy sperms. And even
Okay.
after the fertilization, it still takes some process before the pregnancy will eventually be confirmed
Yeah.
when it will now get. After the pregnancy now, talking about the first trimester, there are different, as in, not the same rule applies to every woman.
Okay.
Rules are different depending on the situation of the woman. There are
Okay.
some women that have had normal pregnancies or that is their first pregnancy, so they are free to have sex anyhow they like it. But
Okay.
once a woman is pregnant, I must say that medically speaking, there is no relationship between the sex and the
Health of the
health of the
baby.
baby.
Okay.
Sometimes, even for women that have had maybe repeated episodes of pregnancy, early miscarriages, or even miscarriages
Mm-hmm.
that have problem with their cervix and issues like that, or maybe when the woman is having threatened abortion, all
Okay.
of those women, we advise them to stay away from sex, sometimes for a certain period of time
Okay.
or for, depending. on the situation. So it has to do by, as in case by case. You don't apply the same rule to everybody.
Everybody.
So
Okay.
for those women that are normal, they can have sex as they like. Some women, when they are pregnant, their libido is very high.
Mm-hmm.
They want, to always have sex. And there are some, their libidos are low. So women are different. But
Okay.
what I want to put out there is that, talking about sex and the health of the baby, once a woman is pregnant, we know that the baby, normal pregnancy now, the baby is inside the uterus,
Yes.
and
That's
the
the womb.
baby in the womb,
Yes.
the baby is protected. We have the amniotic membrane
Mm-hmm.
that covers the baby, and we
Mm-hmm.
have the amniotic fluid
Fluid itself.
inside
Okay.
the baby that acts like a cushion for the baby
Yeah.
to prevent, injuries, and to allow for the normal movement of the baby and
Exactly.
allow the baby to grow normally. So all of
Yes.
these things are put in place, and even when a woman have sex, there is nothing that the sperm that the man release, there's no way is going to have any effect on the baby. The baby is nourished primarily by the placenta
Mm.
from the fetal maternal circulation. I'm
Okay.
very sorry if I'm speaking a lot of grammar, but I'm just trying to say that the nutrients come to the placenta from the mother,
Okay.
and it is taken to the baby.
Okay.
So from the vaginal, the cervix, where the sex is happening,
Mm.
nutrients cannot get to the baby
Baby.
because of all of this covering that are in place. So that is it for the first and second trimester.
Okay.
Then talking about the third trimester now, the woman, a lot of people have interacted with some women that will come to me and like, oh, I want to have my baby on time. I don't want the pregnancy to be delayed.
Mm.
So a lot of them, they do different type of things. Some women even take some things wanting to stimulate labor.
Okay.
Anyway, what I can say, the deposition I want to make is that when the pregnancy is term and if a woman engage in sex, it might be able to help stimulate labor because the sperm that are released, they have a lot of nutrients, they have a lot of chemicals in them, and one of the things that are there is what we call prostaglandin,
Okay.
though in
Prostaglandin.
yes,
Okay.
though in small quantity. But this may help, may, but women are different. Some might even have, sex morning, evening, and night, and
Mm.
it might not stimulate labor. So
Mm.
it's not the same rule applied to all.
Mm.
And even the mechanical, that's the thrust on the cervix during sexual intercourse, might also help. But there is no study that has been done to actually confirm this. So these are things that maybe we might decide to study one of these days and actually see if there's any relationship between sex and term pregnancy and the onset of labor. So that
Okay.
is what I want to say concerning sex and pregnancy. It's okay for women that have normal pregnancy, but for women that have high risk pregnancy in terms of previous miscarriages, or they have special, we call them precious pregnancies, some of those ones we advise them to actually stay away for sex for a certain period of time.
Okay.
So thank you so much. That is all I want to say for now.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate your health education on this channel today on sex in pregnancy. So, Dr. Helen,
Yes.
um, are you trying to say that you have said it before, but I want to be double sure
Okay.
that a woman that is pregnant, that sexual intercourse, the semen or the sperm that is getting to that woman through a male partner does not have anything to add to the health of the baby in the womb?
Not at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that enlightenment. Okay, secondly, in now I think let me deviate a little bit.
Okay.
There is in a setting of polygamous family
Okay.
whereby a woman is pregnant, is it advisable for a woman to um for a man to ejaculate, that is a man that is having sex with several another woman or several other woman that is not very sure of his health status as per STI, sexually transmitted infection? Is it advisable for such a man to ejaculate into a pregnant woman?
Well, for women that what we call sexually transmitted infections
Yeah.
and pregnancy, for the sexually transmitted diseases,
Mm.
there are actually different categories of them.
Okay.
But once the woman is pregnant
Mm.
and maybe she has what is it called, sexual intercourse with the husband that
Mm.
have a sexually transmitted diseases,
Mm-hmm.
it cannot affect the baby because of that protection that I've talked about earlier on.
Okay.
It cannot affect the baby. The
Mm-hmm.
woman might come down with some symptoms
Mm.
which can be treated,
Mm.
and the baby would be protected because of the amniotic fluid. But the thing is, if it is not properly treated,
It can affect the baby.
if it is not properly treated
Mm.
after delivery,
Okay.
it can now progress and spread, you understand, and
Mm.
the woman will come down with the clinical symptoms of those
Mm.
sexually transmitted
Transmitted
diseases.
infection.
But the baby is protected. The only time the baby is exposed is during delivery. If the
Okay.
woman is having a vaginal delivery
Mm.
and during the passage
Mm. Mm.
in
Mm.
the vagina,
Yeah.
the baby can come in contact
With the
with the
infection.
with the infection, and the
Okay.
baby can come down with some of the symptoms.
Mm.
But until then, the
Mm.
baby is protected.
Okay. So how about are there complications? I know you have talked about normal women, healthy women, no complications. They can actually have sex for their own pleasure,
Yeah,
not for the health of the baby.
correct.
Good. So, but are there some complications in pregnancy that would make you, as an obstetrician, to advise a woman not to have sex in late pregnancy? Like, some people they complain about preterm
Yeah,
labor,
yeah,
things like that, or placenta problems.
yeah.
Can you throw more light on this particular aspect?
Yeah, so thank you very much for the question.
Mm.
There are things that would happen and will tell the woman for now, because of your health and the
Mm.
health of this baby, and for the sake of this pregnancy, abstain from sex.
Okay.
At the first trimester, I've mentioned it, women that have repeated miscarriages,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe the pregnancy is a very precious one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the woman is having threatened abortion, she's bleeding already. We tell her for this period, until we confirm that the pregnancy is safe and okay,
Mm.
abstain from sex.
Sex, okay.
Then there are other situations, maybe where the woman have what we call cervical
Incompetence.
insufficiency.
Okay.
That's what we call it now.
Okay.
We don't say incompetence
Okay.
again, insufficiency,
Insufficiency.
yes.
Okay.
So when there are, the cervix is short, because
Mm.
during the pregnancy, one of the things we monitor when we do ultrasound, that's ultrasonography, is to check the length of the cervix. And maybe the woman is also having some symptoms. We check the length of the cervix and we notice that the cervix is short. So for those women, we might do one or two things, give them some medication, and also tell them to abstain from sex.
Okay.
Other condition, maybe when you mention it, the woman has placenta previa,
Mm.
she's already coming down with symptoms, of bleeding,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to try and preserve the pregnancy
Mm.
until the baby is
Matured
matured.
enough.
Yes,
Okay.
so for
Mm.
that period, you tell the woman to abstain
From
from sex.
sex. Okay.
So it has to do with individual thing.
Mm.
When you see the doctor, they will look at your situation critically
Mm.
and give you the best advice at
Mm.
that particular time, just to ensure that the mother and the baby are safe at the end of the pregnancy and we
Okay.
have a good outcome.
Okay, thank you very
Yes,
much. Thank you
yes.
very much.
Thank you for
Okay,
having me.
guys, I believe that you guys have been enlightened as much as I've been enlightened in this session. Dr. Helen, I really appreciate your
Thank
coming.
you.
I really appreciate your being able to speak on this topic because
Pleasure.
it's very, very crucial. A lot of people have this misconception. Um, them talking about this topic, I believe, is going to be quite enlightening to a lot of people out there. So thank you very much
Thank you for
for
having me.
giving me this opportunity, for giving us, not only me, because myself and my fans, we are the us.
Yeah.
So for granting us this opportunity to hear your voice, to see your face on this channel, it is quite an honor. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So,
Thank
guys,
you.
you can ask your questions in the comment section. We will be logging out now. So, she will be at the comment section to read and to answer any of your questions that
Definitely.
might come up at any particular point in time. So, where she is not available, I will also try my best to answer you, and I can forward to her and she gives an answer which I will post to you. Okay, so you guys should cheer Dr. Helen up by liking this video,
Thank
sharing
you.
it out, and commenting. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thank
See you
you.
guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
So we are going.
You did try
Thank
you.
you, ma.
Now walk where you did do.